Deep in the wilds of northern Finland, a teenage girl named Hana takes aim with her bow, targeting a deer. While Hana is cleaning the deer, a man walks up. She reacts fast, launching an attack, but it's just a training drill to keep her on her toes. That man is Eric Heller, a former German CIA agent who disappeared after stumbling onto a dangerous secret. Eric's been living off the grid, training Hana to become a tough, skilled fighter, preparing her to take on Marissa Wiegler, a top CIA official. Eric shows Hana a tracker and tells her that pressing it will expose their location to Marissa. He warns her, once she presses that button, there's no turning back. It'll be a fight for survival between her and Marissa. Eric makes it clear, the choice is all hers. The next morning, Eric asks Hana to go hunting, but she turns him down. Once he's gone, she presses the tracker with firm resolve. When Eric comes back and notices the tracker's on, he stays quiet, knowing what's coming. Hana hugs him tight, and they both understand they need to be ready for whatever's next. Meanwhile, Marissa picks up Eric's signal and pulls together a private meeting with top CIA members to figure out how to catch him. Eric cleans up and gets ready to leave the forest. Before heading out, he tells Hana to meet him in Berlin. That night, the sound of a plane wakes Hana. They look for Eric but can't find him. Soon, they grab her and take her in for questioning. At the CIA, all Hana wants is to see Marissa Wiegler. This request puts Marissa on edge, but she agrees to meet her. In the lab, the scientists studying Hana's blood. It's clear there's something more than just a genetic anomaly. Marissa, playing it safe, sends in a female agent posing as her, watching everything from a hidden control room. As the fake agent steps into the room, Hana asks right away about Marissa and Eric. From the control room, the real Marissa feeds her lines through an earpiece, telling her to stick to the cover story. With her sharp instincts, Hana quickly picks up that something's wrong. She fakes a sob and hugs the agent, making Louis stiffen and signal his team to get ready. As soon as the guards come in, Hana takes down the fake agent, snatches the pistol, and in seconds, has everyone in the room under her control. Hana runs to get away from the authorities and makes it to the lab, where she takes down a doctor and snatches her DNA test results. With the test results in her hand, Hana keeps running. She squeezes through a dark tunnel and then grabs onto the bottom of a car, hitching a ride to the Moroccan desert. In a flashback, Marissa shoots at the car with Eric, Johanna, and young Hana inside, leading to an accident that makes Eric flee with Hana, leaving Johanna behind. Back in the present, Hana walks alone in the Moroccan desert until she spots a family on vacation, including Sophie and her younger brother, Mills. Sophie offers her a ride, but Hana politely declines and keeps going on foot. After a long journey, Hana arrives at the riverbank and quietly grabs some clothes from the women without anyone noticing. Then she heads to the market and manages to convince the villa owner to let her stay, even though she's broke. In her room, Hana gets annoyed by weird electronic noises and decides it's time to leave. Outside, she bumps into Sophie again, who introduces her to her family. Marissa reaches out to Michael Isaac, a former CIA agent, for help catching Hana. Michael heads to the villa but only finds the owner, who says Hana's already gone. He checks the CCTV and sees her sneaking into Sophie's family car, heading for the port. By the time he arrives, the ferry's already on its way to Spain. When Hana arrives at the campsite in Spain, she jumps out of the car and rushes past rows of tents, totally unaware that Michael's guys are watching her. Michael and his two guys search the campsite but only run into a confused Miles. The next morning, Sophie's family packs up and leaves the campsite, with Michael quietly trailing them after waiting all night. Meanwhile, Eric senses he's being watched, so he hides out in a basement, fighting off Marissa's guys and taking them down. As night falls, Hana tells Sophie not to follow her and then takes off toward the container area, with Michael and his crew hot on her heels. Even though they catch her, Hana fights back. When she sees Sophie following her, she takes out one of Michael's guys to protect her, making Sophie run away in fear. Hana keeps running and climbs a container, but Michael catches up. Desperate, she jumps into the water and escapes by hopping onto a passing ship. Marissa questions Sophie's family about Hana. Sophie's parents have no clue, but Miles finally spills that Hana's headed to Grimm's house in Berlin to meet her dad. Hana arrives at Grimm's place, and he gives her a warm welcome with some delicious food. When someone knocks on the door, Grimm quickly tells Hana to hide, preparing for whatever's about to happen. Grimm opens the door and finds Marissa and her crew waiting for him. There's no escaping what's coming. Marissa searches for Hana but can't find her. Meanwhile, Hana overhears their conversation and discovers that Eric isn't actually her biological dad. Once she feels safe, Hana goes to an internet cafe to search for info about her past using her DNA test results. At her grandma's place, Hana asks Eric if he's really her dad. Eric explains that while he's not her biological father, he's the one who raised her. He tells her she was born at the Galinka facility in Poland, where they were trying to create soldiers without empathy. Marissa shut it all down and destroyed all the evidence when Hana was 2. Just as Hana is about to leave, Eric steps in her way. They struggle for a moment, but Hana manages to break free, with Eric right on her heels. When Marissa and Michael arrive, Eric shouts for Hana to run. Eric runs, doing his best to keep Michael away from Hana as he leads them to a junkyard. He takes down a few of Michael's guys, but then Michael attacks, making things even tougher. In the end, Eric comes out on top, but then Marissa shows up and shoots him. Hana arrives at Grimm's place only to find him dead. Just then, Marissa shows up, and Hana quickly grabs a bow and arrow before making her escape. Marissa chases after Hana, trying to mess with her mind and gain the upper hand. Hana pleads for it all to stop so no one else gets hurt, but Marissa attacks. In response, Hana shoots an arrow. Desperate, Marissa lunges at her again but slips. Hana snatches up her gun and ends the fight.